we had a new technique called radioimmunoassay, just been discovered. The people who actually created the technique won Nobel Prize in medicine. Rosalind Yallow was the scientist, I remember. You could measure for the first time chemicals, they're called peptides, in the brain. And what I immediately recognized with the help of my colleagues was that brain chemistry was the clue to the connection between what was happening in your inner life and what was happening in your body. These chemicals called neuropeptides. Neuro means in the brain. Peptides, they're proteins, and they're actually the molecules of emotion. Serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, opiates. People are addicted to opiates these days, but you make your own opiates too. And so, in fact, once we started looking at these chemicals, we realized that they were also immunomodulators. They modulated the immune system, fine-tuned it. If you have a very aggressive immune system, you get things like autoimmune illness, allergies. If you have a very sleepy immune system, you're more prone to infections and cancer. But these peptides are neuroimmunomodulators, in that they modulate the activity, fine-tune the activity of the immune system. So suddenly I saw the connection between mind, body, and spirit. But then I was also actually intrigued by the fact that you could have two patients who had the same illness, saw the same doctor, got the same treatment, and had completely different outcomes. One could survive, one could die. And in between, there was a wide range of outcomes. Let's say you got rid of all chronic illness and acute illness. Would humans still suffer? And the answer is yes, because unlike other species, we have something which is actually quite bizarre. It's called existential suffering. We wonder why we exist. We wonder why we get old, and can we prevent that? We wonder why we get infirm and lose our memory. correlated experiences in a deeper realm of existence which is not in space or time. 95% of gene mutations that cause illness are related to lifestyle. Sleep, managing stress, and whether you meditate or not, you exercise or not, maybe you do yoga or not, breathing techniques, the quality of your emotions, nutrition, personal relationships, social interactions, environment, connection with nature influence your gene activity. We call it epigenetics. To observe a thought is to know that you're not a thought. To observe an emotion is to know that you're not the emotion. To observe the body is to know that you're not this bundle of sensations and perceptions. So who are you? What is it that knows a thought? What is it that knows a perception, the color red? Is there a color red anywhere in the physical universe, or is it just an experience? I guarantee you, no scientist can tell you that the color red exists as a physical entity in the universe. It's an experience. In human consciousness, not in the consciousness of a bat who doesn't see colors but experiences the echo of ultrasound. When you realize that everything you thought was real is not real, when you also realize that who you think you are is not real, I am not Deepak Chopra with this body, mind, ego identity, that this is a very provisional identity. If I say I'm my body, mind, I was once a fertilized ovum. Then I was a zygote, an embryo, a baby, a toddler, a young adult, and now this, and this will disappear. But when you realize that all your name, your form, and everything you see is provisional, two things happen. To some people, they have immediate, what we could only metaphorically call the dark night of the soul. They go into a deep depression because everything they thought was real is no longer real, including their own name, form, body, and mind. Some people get so scared that they have a bad trip. Some people cross that threshold and discover nirvana or enlightenment. And they say, wow, I thought I was squeezed into the volume of a body in the span of a lifetime, but I'm a timeless being that can morph myself into any experience, including the human experience, which is amazing. But the human experience is also that which causes existential depression. So the causes of human suffering, since you brought it up, are brought up in Eastern wisdom traditions as, number one, you suffer because you don't know who you are. You confuse yourself with your body-mind experience. Number two, you grasp and cling at experiences which are evanescent and transitory and dreamlike. You say, what happened to your childhood? It's over. What happened to yesterday? It's over. What happened to 5 minutes ago? It's over. What happens to these words? By the time you hear them, they don't exist. So, Wittgenstein, the German philosopher, said, we are asleep. Our life is a dream, but once in a while we wake up enough to know that we are dreaming. So what do you wake up to? When you cross this threshold, you wake up to your true self, which is not body or mind, but the awareness in which that experience is happening. So grasping and clinging at a dream is the second cause of human suffering. The third is being afraid of anything that's unpleasant, pain, abandonment, being treated by someone not respectfully. So that's, there's aversion to certain experiences. Third cause of suffering. Fourth is identifying, which is related to it, with your ego identity. And fifth is the fear of death. Now they're all connected. They're all the same fear. And they are not knowing who you are. This is the biggest question that humans, or everybody should be asking. Who am I? What am I? Am I the changing experience of this body, which is a perceptual activity? Am I the experience of the changing mind or the changing personality? Because you don't have the same personality when you were a kid or maybe even 10 years ago. what is it at the basis of this? When you start that reflective self-inquiry, ask yourself, who am I? What do I want? What is my purpose? What am I grateful for? Go into the stillness of meditation, you have what wisdom traditions have called revelation, revealed truth. Now, that sounds very grand. I would say just call it insight. Meditation, mindfulness, awareness of body, awareness of mind, awareness of mental space, awareness of the web of relationship, awareness with that which we call the universe. It leads you ultimately to the awareness of awareness. And when you discover that, that's